It's Friday, the 11th of March, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get into it. The first story today, really the biggest story around, is what's happening in financial markets, from the local ASX to commodity prices and even to cryptocurrencies.
That's right. The local market was up 1% yesterday. It was up 1% the day before. It's now trading back above 7,100 points. What's happened in the last 24 hours is that oil price and a lot of commodity prices have come off. That's because OPEC, which is the big oil cartel, said it would step up production. That's taken all that pressure off commodity prices. So things like transport and travel stocks did really, really well. Mind you, the oil and gas guys and the big miners didn't do so well because their commodity prices, the stuff they sell, have fallen back. The banks did incredibly well yesterday. They were up 2 to 3%. Macquarie Bank was actually up 4%, though BHP was down 1.5%. And what was really interesting about the market yesterday is that because BHP is such a big part of it, whatever happens there weighs on everything else. Just want to quickly mention cryptos as well. Joe Biden, the US president, 24 hours ago came out and said he wanted rules around cryptocurrencies. If nothing else, his comments give cryptos legitimacy. If Joe Biden's thinking about it, the rest of the world can think about them too. That caused a big jump in some of the big guys. Things like Bitcoin, Ether, Binance, Solana, they all jumped as a result.
Big day for crypto. Sean, story number 2, the Reserve Bank of Australia, so our central bank responsible for interest rates and employment, it's really not known for shocks or big movements or big surprises. Yesterday, it delivered one of those.
Yes, Reserve Bank Deputy Governor Guy Debelle resigned. He's taking up a job with Fortescue Future Industries as the Chief Financial Officer. Now, in the world of economics, you want to be top dog, you get to the top of the Reserve Bank. Guy Debelle is just one step away from the governorship. That role is coming up in 18 months' time when Phil Lowe is due to depart. It's really surprising that Guy Debelle, who admittedly has a genuine interest in climate change and what's happening on that front, but it is a real surprise that he's stepping down to go into the private sector. Good on him. Hope he does well. But wow, in the economics world, that was a shock.
All right, story number 3. Sean, we've talked a lot about different companies severing links to Russia, not stocking products there, removing staff from the country. One local company that does have links to Russia is Rio Tinto, but it's made it pretty clear that those ties are going to be severed.
That's right. Rio's copper business has some really close ties to Russia, mostly through the Oyu Tolgoi mine in Mongolia. That's a massive copper mine in that country. Mongolia, of course, is wedged between China and Russia. The mine is one of the 5 biggest copper mines in the world, and it's a partnership between Rio and the Mongolian government. Now, Rio said it won't deal with Russia. Only problem is that mine gets its power from Russia. So that presents it with a pretty significant challenge. Also, Rio's Queensland alumina business is owned 20% by a Russian company called Russell. That now seems untenable, and Rio might have to buy Russell out. It won't be cheap. Put those things together, that's why Rio's share price fell nearly 8% yesterday.
Now, Sean, for story number 4, I don't know whether you shop at Myer, but somebody certainly is, because Myer delivered its first dividend in 4 years yesterday. Big day for the company.
Oh, absolutely. For Myer shareholders and all the people that work at the department store, it's really been under fire for a number of years. In recent years, the stores have performed poorly. A bunch were closed, and the company had Solly Lew as its major shareholder. He's very vocal in his dislike of the board and sometimes management. But yesterday, Myer said it would reinstate dividends after posting a jump in sales for the 6 months to the end of January. There are also increased costs due to supply chain issues, and the bottom line actually fell. But when a company reinstates a dividend, it generally means management is pretty confident about the outlook. After all, a CEO can't stop dividends, then start, then stop, then start. Well, he or she can't do that if they want to keep their job. Myer is doing a really good job online. Online sales now make up 28% of total sales. Its turnaround strategy is all about closing unprofitable stores, dumping lackluster brands, offering less promotions, and doing better online, and it's working. Shares are up 25% yesterday and are up 70% over the past year. Mind you, some way to go. The share price was 7 times the current level, Michael, a little more than a decade ago.
All right, last story, Sean, story number 5. A lot of Australian investors are now looking at buying shares overseas. One of the big ones that they go to in the US is Amazon. But if you want to buy shares in Amazon, you need to be prepared to pay an awful lot of money until now.
Yes, they're doing a 20-for-1 stock split. Mostly it's because Amazon is too expensive for mums and dads investors to buy into. One Amazon share at the moment is worth nearly $2,800. So if you do a 20-for-1 stock split, anyone holding one Amazon share today will end up with 20 shares, but each share will be worth just $140. The total value of that $2,800 doesn't change though. The other interesting thing about the announcement yesterday was that the board will also buy back $10 billion worth of shares. Amazon has now joined Alphabet, the parent of Google, in doing these stock splits. Basically, they are becoming so expensive to buy. Companies want more mums and dads investors, so we're going to see a lot more of these stock splits going forward, just so they're more affordable for people to buy into.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 11th of March, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, if you want something a bit longer, a bit more detail, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.